when you're hitting the bag, right? I see you hitting it when you walk. I want you to do like this. You're gonna do boom, 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 boom. You keep for boom, 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 boom. How long you can do that? 1, 2, 1, 2.
Well, I think when he weighed in for Mike Tyson was 227 pounds. That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Mike Tyson recently joined forces for an intense training session ahead of Tank's massive clash with Jake Paul. The atmosphere in the gym was electric as Iron Mike shared his legendary power and precision with the young star. Tyson focused on sharpening Davis's explosiveness, head movement, and devastating uppercuts, the same tools that once made him the most feared man in boxing. Witnesses said Tank looked sharper and more ferocious than ever, clearly channeling Tyson's trademark aggression and killer.
Are there any considerations when you're moving your head, like you're trying to get your head out of the center line?
No, well, you want to get out the center, but the objective for him to throw the punch before you can count him. Like if he throws the punch here, you count here, you go to here, and you're still outside.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. So you want them to miss, and when they miss, that's your opportunity.
Absolutely. Sometimes you can punch while he's punching, you can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, you go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're going. Whatever it is, boom, side, whatever it is, you have to go.
I love that foot movement. Is that something that Casamano taught you?
Yeah, twisting.
Twisting is what it's.
The highly anticipated showdown between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is set for November 14th at the Casa Center in Miami, Florida. Originally planned for Atlanta, the bout was relocated after the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission raised concerns about the significant weight disparity.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight. And now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
Mike Tyson, who has previously shared the ring with Jake Paul, issued a strong warning as Paul prepares to face Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Tyson understands the mental pressure and unpredictability that come with fighting Paul, but he also recognizes the grave danger of stepping in against a powerhouse like Davis. Despite Paul's advantages in size and youth, Tyson believes Tank's explosive speed, sharp timing, and devastating knockout power make him a serious threat. His cautionary words suggest Paul may be underestimating just how dangerous Davis truly is.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog. There's no doubt about it. He showed that. But Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
While training with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Mike Tyson openly admitted that Jake Paul's punches carried shocking power. Tyson revealed that his entire body was sore after their session, a confession that stunned many who had dismissed Paul's physical strength. Coming from a legend known for both enduring and delivering brutal knockouts, this was no casual compliment. It underscored that Paul's power is genuine, not just promotional hype. Tyson's remarks validate Paul's intense strength training and refined fundamentals, proving he's evolved beyond his YouTuber roots into a legitimate, dangerous athlete.
Oh, no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, and then the next thing I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh yeah, a little bow at the end, he bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. You know, but the day after the fight, right after the day after, I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? You know, I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
Fans and analysts often draw parallels between Gervonta Davis and Mike Tyson, pointing to their devastating knockout power, ferocious aggression, and larger-than-life personas. Yet, those comparisons come with context. Davis competes in a different era, weight class, and boxing landscape, while Tyson's enduring legacy was forged during a dominant heavyweight reign that
I have to ask you, would you remake your famous video game? Bring it to the next generation consoles, my friend?
Hey, I'm just happy to be alive.
What do you think about people comparing Tank Davis to you? I mean, what do you think about that?
Tank's a great fighter.
You think he's a great fighter? What do you think about them comparing him to you? I mean, you're a legend, my friend.
Well, he'll be one too if he keeps fighting.
Oh, okay. All right, well, thank you. Okay.
On the other hand, Gervonta Davis has dismissed comparisons to a young Mike Tyson. In interviews, he's emphasized their stylistic differences, describing himself as a boxer puncher rather than a pure brawler, noting that Tyson relied more on raw aggression and intimidation to dominate opponents. When asked about the frequent comparisons between himself and Gervonta Davis, Mike Tyson offered a blunt response. He admitted there might be some similarities, but not in the way most people think. Tyson reportedly quipped, "Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no," referencing Davis's offering controversies, a remark that made it clear Tyson doesn't fully embrace the comparison.
Tank Davis, a lot of people say he reminds you of them. Does he remind you of himself?
I don't know. Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no.
Interestingly, Gervonta Davis hasn't always viewed Mike Tyson as an untouchable idol. After Tyson's loss to Jake Paul, Davis openly criticized the matchup, questioning why a legend would return to the ring just for a payday. He suggested the fight did more harm than good to Tyson's legacy. That criticism showed Davis wasn't eager to glorify Tyson as an unquestionable mentor or equal. Yet now, Davis faces similar scrutiny himself, taking on Jake Paul in a flashy, polarizing fight that's drawn heavy backlash from fans, analysts, and traditional boxing purists alike.
I think that it's fair to call them boxers now. If we talk about Logan brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. Man. He tried to knock him out for sure.
How much money you think they paid Tank?
Tank gonna make upwards around 100 million.
Say a word.
Real talk, so you can't really blame him for taking that.
Many fans see the matchup as more spectacle than sport, claiming it prioritizes entertainment over competition. Critics argue that Davis skipped a rightful rematch with Lamont Roach to pursue a lucrative payday instead. During a recent press conference, a frustrated Davis fired back, insisting he doesn't care about public opinion and telling fans to simply enjoy the show.
At this face-off, Henry, what are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like it.
About it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put their hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Oh, hell yeah. You got to give Jake Paul his flowers. Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz.
Jake Paul is a disruptor, and he's done a phenomenal job. You get big and famous enough to where they will just hand you the title shot and completely throw out the ranking system.
If Jake Paul was to do that, I think that'd be the greatest sports accomplishment in history. Going from a Disney Channel kid to a YouTuber to becoming a world champion.
I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, "I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time." I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online. The last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring, like I'm building my legacy. I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy. like, I think it started like that for him. But the influence of Floyd Mayweather, Money Man, not Pretty Boy, but the Money Man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold. I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family. He said it out of his own mouth. I ain't got nothing else to prove. If you're trying to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's still a whole lot to prove. My point is, Roy, I don't think, should everybody hold this man to the standard that they hold him to and say, you not fighting nobody, yeah, you making money, but you ain't really fought nobody. If he don't even care about that, that's not even something that he's really focused on. If his main focus is the money, and his main focus is getting out of boxing without getting hurt and retiring on his own terms, shouldn't his fan base and other people get on board with that if that's not even his goal? How can we hold him to something like that if he don't even hold himself to that?
Mike Perry, known for his blunt and unapologetic opinions, harshly criticized the idea of Gervonta "Tank" Davis stepping into the ring with Jake Paul. Perry claimed Davis is no longer the same knockout artist he once was, suggesting his passion for boxing has faded over time. He argued that when a fighter loses that deep love for the sport, it becomes nearly impossible to compete against opponents who are naturally bigger, stronger, and more driven. Perry warned that Davis, despite his elite skill and lightning speed, will face a serious uphill battle against Paul, who could outweigh him by nearly 180 pounds on fight night. That kind of size difference, Perry noted, drastically affects punching power, stamina, and a fighter's ability to withstand punishment.
Jake just signed on to fight Tank Davis. What do you think of that fight? He's got like 100 pounds on him.
Yeah, and they say that there's a large weight discrepancy, like me and Jeremy are the same size. So, it's his lower half is really small. My legs are gonna work the best that night. I have really strong legs. I'll squat twice the size that he can, and so my strong legs are gonna do work. Jake is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult offered a blunt take, predicting that Jake Paul will land heavy shots on Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He based his argument on Paul's clear physical advantages, superior size, reach, and raw punching power. While acknowledging Davis's exceptional skill and explosiveness, Showbiz believes those traits won't be enough against a fighter with Paul's strength and durability. He argued that Paul's physical edge will allow him to control the pace and impose his will throughout the bout. Ultimately, Showbiz concluded that the sheer difference in size and power could tilt the fight decisively in Paul's favor.
How does Tank Davis beat Jake Paul? You have Shakur Stevenson saying Jake Paul doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, and that Gervonta "Tank" Davis would just outbox him and beat him on points.
I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
And I get that, but when I think of Tank Davis, I think of a guy who kind of counters you to knock you out. I think of a guy who's not really a busy fighter. And this isn't just a size thing, because hell, if it was Jake Paul versus the prime Manny Pacquiao, I would say Manny Pacquiao because of Manny Pacquiao's style, how busy he is, how he hops in and out, I think he would collect the points. While Tank Davis, I think he punches the least amount of all fighters in the world right now. So do I think he can one punch KO Jake Paul? Well, the thing is about Gervonta has really shown a huge amount of concern fighting anything north of 135. Check this out.
He hit me in the back of my head. That stung a little bit, but other than that, it wasn't really. That's why I was nervous. Like, he's 140, so I wouldn't try to get caught too clean.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's recent moves, including his victory over 58-year-old Mike Tyson, expose a concerning pattern in his boxing career. Many see his decision to fight an aging legend as a spectacle rather than a true sporting challenge, raising questions about his dedication to real competition. Prominent voices like Carl Froch have dismissed Paul's performances as shallow, claiming his success relies more on showmanship than authentic boxing skill.
Don't mind if you think you can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua. Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, cool. Anthony, he took a big L with Daniel Dubois. But Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. It's not a joke. You know what I'm trying to say? He took a L there, but Jake Paul, I got the utmost respect of what he's done, how he's managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening, it's positioning, it's marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face to face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for a fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's gonna fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly gonna be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3 because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Stephen A. Smith has consistently criticized Jake Paul's choice of opponents, arguing that most have either been past their prime or not true elite-level boxers. Smith contends that Paul has yet to prove himself against the top-tier talent currently defining the sport. In response, Paul has defended his record, claiming he pursued fights with legitimate contenders like Tommy Fury, who initially declined multiple offers. When the two finally met in February 2023, it became one of the rare occasions Paul faced an active professional boxer in his prime. Paul ultimately lost the fight by split decision, his first and only defeat, underscoring the gap between the celebrity-driven bouts and genuine boxing.
Are beating up on dudes who don't box. They're not boxers.
I was on Disney Channel while these guys were winning UFC championships.
Okay.
You know, I was playing with Mickey Mouse while these guys were throwing arm bars and winning UFC championships. Everyone's, analyzing my career, critiquing it, paying attention to it from day one, but you can't tell me who was Mike Tyson's first fight. You can't tell me who Muhammad Ali, who was his fourth fight. No one knows, but everyone's seen all of my fights. I tried to fight Tommy Fury. Yeah, I tried to fight Tommy Fury, and he backed out due to a rib injury. Undefeated, young prospect. He comes from the Fury family. His brother's a heavyweight champion of the world. I tried to fight him, and he got scared.
Stephen A. Smith has openly criticized Jake Paul for choosing to fight boxing legend Mike Tyson, arguing that if Paul truly wants to be taken seriously, he should face opponents closer to his own age and skill level, instead of targeting aging veterans with far more
Pot of hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane. It's hard to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really, really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested.
What did you think about the fight, Jake Paul?
I hate it. And Jake Paul's starting to piss me off. Mike Tyson is 57 years old, man. Jake Paul been training with professional boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very, very, very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer, but then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers. Now he decides to fight a fighter, a real fighter, which is Tyson. But Tyson is 30 years older. Stop this nonsense of going against dudes that either ain't boxing or is 25 years removed from the sport.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul insists he's transforming the future of boxing. In a recent interview, he claimed the sport is becoming more exciting than ever, crediting Netflix as a major game changer. With the streaming giant stepping in as an official partner, Paul believes boxing is entering a new era, one that extends far beyond traditional pay-per-view audiences. The move's significance is clear. Netflix's global reach introduces boxing to millions of new viewers who might never have watched a fight before.